This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is not America's Sweetheart, Davian. And
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess, Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy Jane.
This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
Hello everybody, this is Bryson Blade and you are watching Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, James J., and it is a great day for wrestling because we are wrestling with the Edgelord, Bryson Blade.
Thank you for having me here, James.
Absolutely. And can you tell us what you have coming up next?
For now, our recent show for SPW Champions Never Yield 2 had recently just gone by. It was just last Friday, and they might see the full event at Premier Streaming Network soon. As for now, we don't really have anything necessarily planned for now, but most likely we'll be in the planning phase of the next event for now.
Okay, and where can we find you on social media and your merchandise?
You can find me at Blade_BRY on Instagram. And as for merchandise, I currently don't actually sell any merchandise for now. I did stickers for a little bit, but then after that, it was immediately I had to call off for the military.
Okay, I got it. Alright, well, you mentioned it. You work for Singapore Pro Wrestling. Can you tell us about your relationship with that company?
Well, I'm currently one of the, trainees there, and I was given a chance to perform about 2-3 years ago. I guess that's really not much to be said. I went into SPW when it was in 2020, and I just wanted to try something out. I did not think I would be performing at a stage where I'll be going up on stage and performing, but hey, here we are.
So you didn't kind of go into pro wrestling, thinking you were actually going to be a wrestler.
Yeah. As a kid, I always liked acting and theater, and it was actually one of my friends, one of my closest friends I had, that got me into wrestling when we were in, I think it was like 15, 16, 17. And once we found out that there was a wrestling company in Singapore, we wanted to try it out, and I continued going after that. I kept trying, and he's no longer, I don't think he has any plans on coming back, but he is definitely the one guy that I have to thank for getting me into this, considering the fact that I was not planning on doing anything with wrestling, and I didn't even know that I would have this chance to be held in this interview with you.
Well, we're glad to have you, for sure. Well, speaking of Singapore Pro Wrestling, you actually got suspended for attacking referee Ryan. Can you tell us about that?
Well, listen, okay, referee Ryan, he is he reminds me of myself sometimes, because he reminds me of myself in the past, a really, really goody two-shoes kind of person. But he messes up a lot, and sometimes when he messes up, it really gets on my nerves. Now, the one thing that I am always a free advocate, at least an advocate of, is that whatever's your business is your business. Whatever's my business is my business. I won't start a fight with you. It's plain and simple. However, when I was getting revenge on Trickster, it was him who kept pulling me off of him. But if you just pay attention, every time Trickster pulled his cheating maneuvers back when everyone for some reason hated him when he was with me, everyone was okay with it. Even referee Ryan was. So when I start doing things like that, all of a sudden I'm the bad guy. Makes sense, huh?
Right. There's clearly some bias there. And I mean, he's not all innocent. He doesn't play all innocent because I saw, him actually attack you during a match.
Okay, so to give a bit more context to that, that match was actually for I came out because I wanted to help my friend. Every time when I was going to tag team with Trickster, people kept acting as if I didn't help him out. So that wasn't the truth. I always helped him out. Anytime he needed my help or he wanted to tag me in, I would. It was only when I started getting mad at him that it became a lot less. So finally, I have a friend. I have CK Vin on my side, and he lets me do all my stuff in peace. So I'm like, okay, as a brother to brother, I got your back as well. But when I do it now, all of a sudden people still think I'm a piece of shit. And referee Ryan gets in the way in a no DQ match. I mean, it's no DQ, right? I'm allowed to go up there. There's no rule book that says I can't go up there.
Right.
But apparently everyone hates it when you do that.
Well, and I mean, you got suspended, but I kind of feel like he was out of line putting his hand on you. It's not the referee's place.
Exactly. It is not the referee's place. There's nothing said, but maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm not relatable enough. Maybe I'm not likable enough to the SPW audience because everybody was cheering for me. No, was cheering for him to stun me, and wow, the whole crowd went wild about it. So he can pull those kind of things, but I get involved, and I'm the biggest guy that everyone should hate in the room, which I don't know if you feel the same way I do, but I just think that's unfair.
I couldn't agree more. But correct me if I'm wrong. You actually had a match with referee Ryan at the Horrors of Pro Wrestling, no?
Yes, the graveyard shift show. Yeah, I didn't show up. I was busy falling sick. I was busy having a good dose of COVID. And then I had messages from people telling me saying, "Why didn't you show up?" I'm like, "I'm sick. What did you want me to do?"
Okay.
But I mean, it's fine. It's all good with me because if I'm not wrong, referee Ryan had to fight Cornelius Lowe that night, which I hope Lowe gave him the beating.
Well, I'm assuming you would like to give him the beating because clearly there's some unresolved issues there, no?
Of course I do. Of course I do. Who wouldn't want to get their hands on referee Ryan at this point? Like, for an example, the first time referee Ryan refereed my match was against Trickster in a one-on-one situation, and he allowed for the eye raking. He allowed for Trickster to throw cards in my face. So what ticked me off was that all of a sudden when I'm gouging his eyes out, all of a sudden I'm the bad guy and he pulls me out of it. So yeah, it's really unfair for me, I feel, and I get annoyed at this fact because I think just plain and simple, I want revenge on Trickster, but you had to be the one who stand in my way. I didn't tell you to stay in my way. I didn't go after you. I made it very clear. Stay out of it, let me handle it. And he still wanted to get in my way. What was I supposed to do there?
Absolutely. Now, keeping on other promotions you've worked for, you had a couple matches in APAC.
APAC Pro Wrestling.
APAC, there you go. Can you tell
APAC
us,
Wrestling?
could you tell us about working for that promotion?
I fought Eurasian Dragon, which was actually interesting because Eurasian Dragon was at least one of the former members of SPW before he started his own company in Ring of Rebirth. And I beat him, so SPW won. So hopefully, I don't know, will I get an appreciation for that? I don't think I will, but hey, I did it. And then I might have bit off more I can chew for the second guy. So I thought, you hit a guy with a chair, he goes down, he stays down. Yeah, the guy I was pissing off, his name is Serigala. That was a bad idea. I can fully admit that, and I can admit that I may or may not should not have done that. Basically, I mean, I saw the guy. I thought, hey, let's go piss him off, and well, I went through I think 2 chairs that night, and yeah, I solely regret that actually. I mean, this guy gave Destroyer Dharma a run for his money, so maybe I shouldn't have done that. Yeah.
So, maybe not a rematch.
Nah, I don't think so. He sometimes gives me nightmares, but I'm not gonna say that. Wait. Okay, moving on. Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that was your first promotion outside of Singapore. I believe it's based out of Taiwan?
No, APAC Pro Wrestling is actually in Malaysia.
Malaysia,
And yes, and actually, well, not a lot of people know about this, but a few people backstage know. I had a chance to go to Setup at the time, which is in Thailand. However, due to scheduling issues, mostly I was in school, so I wasn't able to make that. And also that weekend that I would have gone over, quote unquote, that was basically exam week for me, so I couldn't have made it regardless.
Oh, okay. Alright. Now, you mentioned him a couple of times. Can you tell us about your rivalry with the Trickster, Kyle Black? You've both friends and now clearly very much enemies.
Yeah, it is. So I don't know why people hate me for what happened. So when we first debuted, I've already fought the guy and I already won. So the mindset of it was like, why am I paired up with a guy I already beat? But I'm like, whatever, maybe it could work, and it did work for one match. The second match, he had the brilliant idea of going to attack Alexis Lee for the titles because she had no one to protect her at the time. And I was like, okay, good idea. And then the plan got derailed because apparently at the show there was her name is Kelly Kimberly. She came in to defend Alexis Lee, and now suddenly we have an impromptu match. So I'm like, okay, first time didn't work. Annoying, but whatever. Come to the next event, which was the next time I believe we had another tag team was with the anniversary. First of all, I don't know what people are laughing at because everyone kept chanting. What's it called? People kept chanting at Trickster, something that I really didn't understand. Kylie Black, but I'm like, I don't know what was happening in day one. I didn't know what he was up to, but regardless, fine. We try our best. We went to fight Shivam and Terry Diesel, and wow, what ticked me off that match, which really got to me, was that if you saw the hard cam, every time I had an opportunity to come in and help him, I did. But what irritated me was that every time, not every time, the one time I needed him, I was getting chopped. My chest was burning. I went home that day, there were skin tears on my chest. And the thing that pissed me off was that the hard cam caught him. The dude was eating tacos at the side.
Not cool.
And people saw it. People saw that, and they were okay with it. I'm like, I'm trying to win a match. And just before all of this happens, he goes, "We represent SPW." And then you do this. You leave me in there. Okay, that was it. I did not go through chairs that day just for him to do this crap. I didn't go through all that pain for nothing. And I'm thinking, okay, screw it. You want to hear my opinion? I have a problem with you. You want to bring it out? I was ready to sell the problem backstage, but he wanted it to be in public. Okay, I tell you, I straight up, this is what you did. I cannot stand this. This will not fly. All of a sudden, another tag team comes and ambushes us, and suddenly I have to fight them as well. Now it doesn't feel like a tag team anymore. It just feels like a handicap match. It feels like, had I just done a 1v1, I would have better odds winning compared to having a 2v2 and having him on my side. Whatever. I had to pull some dirty stuff. I did what I had to do, so be it. Now, he went to go sign a contract saying that we will rematch them. And he put my name down. You see why this would irritate a guy?
Yeah.
What more? I had a date that day. You have no idea. You have no idea how embarrassing it is to call up someone and be like, "Hey, can't wait to go out. Book the restaurant. Got a gift for you and everything. When we have a nice shave that day, everything was styled up, ready to go." And all of a sudden, I get a text. Oh, no, I don't even get a text from. I get the match card being posted online, and it said, "Hey, these two have a match. Good for you." I can't just not show up for a job. It's my job. So, no shit, I was upset. But he said, "Oh, I have a plan. We're gonna make it into a 3v2 because I hired CK Vin." Okay, fine. Let's see how this plan goes on. All of a sudden, CBK comes out to help the Wolfram cartel. Suddenly, it's a 3v3 again. And I'm obviously upset because I let him do the planning. He's the mastermind behind all this, but I'm the one getting the blame.
Right.
People don't look at him and be like, that's the trickster. Let's blame him. It's always the case of they're always blaming me. I had nothing to do with this. So obviously that night, Vin got mad, obviously. Vin smacked him with the chair, and I'm like, oh, someone finally gets me. Finally. Like, I've gone through life without anybody. Suddenly someone that I didn't expect at all of a sudden he thinks the same thing that I think, and he appreciates my work. So, okay, if he's nice to me, I'm nice to him. He took that chair to him, I followed through. I was vividly pissed off, but I was so happy at the end of the night. I didn't care that I lost, I was happy. Come merciless, time for revenge. I get my hands on Trickster, I do everything. But the thing that people seem to forget is that they like him. He ambushed me. He's the one who jumped out of the top rope while the lights were off, while his entrance was playing. I went out there. I was ready for a fight. He ambushed me. He pulled that sneaky stuff. Okay, fine. Vividly, I get upset. I get angry. I start beating him down. I say, time for revenge. I'll jam my fingers into his eye. And every single time, I kept doing something that I myself enjoyed, that made me happy. Referee Ryan had to be there to be like, hey, get off him. It's not good. Where were you when he was doing that to me? You see why I don't like Ryan?
Right.
It's very simple. When he does it to me, all of a sudden, it's fine. It's okay to bully the emo kid. But when the emo kid fights back, all of a sudden he's wrong. So whatever, I got my revenge. At the end of the match, I wanted to whack him some more, but I was thinking, you know what, it's fine. Referee Ryan's there telling me to knock it off. Maybe it's enough for enough. After the show, help Vin out, and then Referee Ryan gets in my face again. I even slapped him in the face and told him, stay out of this. And he didn't. So he want to start a war with me, and I'm the bad guy again. So, when you get blamed for everything, and people hate you no matter what, and no matter what happens, people don't listen to your side of the story. They only listen to what they want to listen to. They only put the blame on who they want to put the blame on. So they keep blaming me. Okay then. If this is how it's gonna be, this is how it's gonna be then.
Right. It does seem like you have a lot of scores to settle.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Bryson Blade is going to settle them, to say the least.
Eventually. I'm not gonna let this shit stand, man. I cannot wait to cut them down.
Oh yeah. Now, with a name like the Trickster, you'd think he would be a little bit more successful, setting up these, trips.
Exactly.
But, you mentioned him, CK Vin. better tag team partner?
Yep, Vin is a good friend of mine.
Alright. Well, I know it wasn't the best outing, but you did wrestle Alexis Lee,
Hmm?
with, with Kelly Kimberly. Obviously, Alexis, big name, respected name in pro wrestling. What was
Hmm?
it like being in the ring with Alexis Lee?
Hmm. I was an opportunist. I thought I had her guard down, but no. Apparently I didn't. I mean, I always thought that I couldn't. I always firmly believe that I can do things, and that I will be able. You just need to give me that advantage, and I will be able to take down some of the bigger names. But she was better that night, so I don't really necessarily blame her for what happened. I'm not even mad at her for beating me. Hell, I can't even be too upset at Kelly Kimberly because she did what a friend would do. Instead of stand there and watch, step up and help her. What I'm mad at the most is Trickster because that was his idea. But people blame me. He's the one who told me go on the mic. It's time to celebrate. Say some rude shit. I'm like, okay. He's the one that goes, this is my plan. We can do it together. And I'm the one that's hated now. People cheer for him now. When he does his magic, people love him for it now. But what did I get out of that? Had we won the titles, had we gotten the titles that night, no complaints. Like immediately the results outweigh what we had to go through. So perfectly fine. But we didn't. We went up on stage, we got our ass kicked, and it was his idea, but everyone forgived him. No one looks at Trickster now and think, yeah, that was Trickster's idea. Trickster was he's a mean person. He's a bad person. No, people forgave him real quick. But I'm the one who still gets hated. When we were coming out, when we were doing our entrances and everything, people would jeer the hell out of me, or they go dead silent, glaring at me all the time. Trickster now gets cheers. You see why I just found it unfair? How much he gaslit me on the spot.
Right.
Which is rich because when I joined SPW, I always listened to my seniors and thought, I'm gonna be a kid that's gonna listen to everyone. I'm gonna be understanding. I'm gonna learn and all this kind of stuff. You see where being a good kid gets you.
Right. I gotcha. And, I get it. The fans just don't understand what is in front of them. They don't know that, they don't know until it's too late. You kind of understand what I mean?
Yeah, but at the same time, they don't know it's too late. But who's the one suffering the entire time?
But you will make them understand in the end.
Will I? I'm honestly not sure. I'm at a stage where if they're gonna see me as a bad guy, I might as well be a bad guy, right? What's the point? What's the point of teaching people, hey, I'm actually a sweetheart? Like, nah. You're not gonna listen. They're not gonna listen to me. So if they want an asshole, I'll give them one. They want to see a scumbag in Singapore pro wrestling, I'll be that scumbag.
Alright.
Give the people what they want. They always say.
Alright. It's time for Bryson's Bizarre Adventure. You're a pro wrestler that goes up and down the roads, and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a
Mm-hmm.
road story that fits that description?
A road story.
Yes.
Well, I guess the most obvious one would be the one I went to Malaysia because we were sitting on just coincidence when I had to book for when I had to find my own way there. I had to take the bus that takes us from Singapore to Malaysia, and I had to sit next to CBK the entire time. Keep in mind, this is directly after he helped the WRC. You see, I can't do anything. If I start a fight then and there, I'm the one that gets involved again.
Right.
and he's beloved by the fans at this point. He's one of the fan favorites by everyone. So I can't just pick a fight with him now. People aren't going to side with me. So the entire road, it was just me staring at him, glaring him at the side. And every time that we went to a place to sit down and eat, he would specifically come right in front of me, be like, "Hi, I'm here." And it would ruin my appetite. So I just want to sit down and eat in peace. I'm the kind of guy that just, you give me food, I'll eat quietly, leave me alone kind of thing. I got my phone in front, it's all good. And then every once in a while, I'll be like, all of a sudden I hear CBK, "Hey, Blade, you like cheeseburgers, I see." You just ruined my entire dinner. Thanks a lot. But yeah, that's about it.
Well, from a not so great encounter to, I can't imagine not being a good encounter. You met Tajiri, one of the biggest
Tajiri.
names in pro wrestling, honestly. What was it like meeting him?
Tajiri-san. I mean, it was an honor, obviously. Tajiri was one of the guys that definitely inspired the way I wrestle, because I'm the kind of guy that likes doing kicks. And as we all know, the Japanese buzzsaw has one of the best kicks in WWE.
Right.
So growing up at the time when I used to watch, not growing up, sorry, when I was really to say growing up, let's just say when my friend introduced it to me, because I don't want to sound like I'm backtracking. But when he showed me Tajiri was one of the guys that I looked up to. And just being able to meet him was obviously an inspiration, because I actually wanted to join SPW sooner. And then I come to find out that he's been to SPW before. So it's just interesting. Had I guess, joined sooner, I would have actually met him. But unfortunately, I didn't match the age requirements for SPW back then.
Right. Right. Well, grudges aside, you you just recently joined the army. Can you tell us about that?
Well, I joined in November 14th. And I mean, I don't know if I can actually come back from the army back to wrestling. I want to, because I really want to strangle Ryan.
Right.
But it is what it is. If I have the time and the stars align, then I'll probably show up for the next show. But obviously, that's like a very rare scenario. So until then, just we do my job, go home, go to the gym, and just prepare to come back and prepare to strangle the hell out of a referee.
Okay. Now, looking at your persona, can you tell us if there is any significance to your mask?
The mask that I wear.
Yes.
I always liked the spiked look effect. And every time I wanted to, I guess, upgrade the gear, I liked the idea of having a half mask. Because for me, it just felt like you knew who was behind the mask. If you knew it was personal. That was always the vibe that I had, because a full mask covers your entire face, and it can hide your identity.
Right.
A half mask only covers from the nose to the chin. So if you can recognize the people's eyes, then you know it's personal for me. If you don't recognize them, then it's probably just some other guy. That was always my take on it. If I had revenge on a guy, I wanted him to know that it was me. They can't prove it, but I wanted them to know it was me.
Now, speaking about Alexis Lee and Kelly Kimberly in that match, you were actually in a martial arts video with Kelly. How did that come about?
Kelly was one of the people that eventually, her annoyance, you hate a guy so much, you hate a person so much until you start to actually, respect them a little bit. Kelly was one of those people, because at first I was irritated that she got involved. But then I read more into the backstory of how she became to be, and how, I'm just, how do I put this? I'm not exactly the same as her. I probably won't be. Who knows if I will ever be. But Kelly, the struggles I see did remind me a little bit of what the struggles that I would have to go through. Definitely not the same. Definitely, she has gone through her own set of struggles that are different from mine. But the fact that someone can go through all that hell and still come out, I guess, a semi-decent human being is respectable in a way. It's kind of how do I put it? It's something I wanted to do, but at this point, I think it's pointless. Like, what's the point of trying to convince people you're good at this point? If she managed to do it, and she can do it, props to her, but I'm not one of those people.
And the video that you did together, what was that like? Being on the side of like a film set.
It was fun. It was interesting. I've never saw myself as actually. I never think I would have that opportunity, but hey, if it happened, it happened. And after a while, we did a bit more and more random stuff here and there, and I started to think she's actually a decent person. She's a sweetheart if you know her personally. I'm pretty sure she is.
Alright. You was also in a commercial for 5 Hour Energy, no?
Yeah, that one. That was also a surprise actually because Maxi Lim, the guy that was promoting the 5 Hour Energy. It was interesting because I used to see. I was one of the people that watched the movie that came up. He was starring it in called Boys to Men, and coincidentally, I think the first year that the actors of that movie actually came up to the National Day Parade, I was actually one of the people inside the audience when all the primary schools were all in like the floating stadium area, and we were all like sitting in our individual schools. I actually remember him running up my aisle, and it was just kind of cool to know that that was once a thing.
That's really cool. Was it that kind of like a full circle moment in a way?
It kind of did feel like. I'm surprised that he asked when he contacted the statement, and he was like, I want to ask for a few people, and my name just happened to be one of them.
Alright. Well, you are a fan of the video game Yakuza. Can you tell
Yes,
us
I am. I felt like the character, the one that I most gravitate towards to is Majima. It's because I guess maybe as a child I never was the kind of person that enjoyed how to put it. I always liked characters that had a bit more of flaws inside them because to me it felt more realistic. You know, the folktown hero and everything. It wasn't exactly my vibe. My kind of vibe was always someone that was a bit more eccentric, I guess. So when I first played the game Yakuza, I saw Majima and I thought he was a bit crazy. But when afterwards I played the prequel, which was Yakuza 0, I started to understand his character a lot more. And then I was there thinking, like, the dude does remind me of myself in a way. You go through a lot of things that people hurt you with. But for some reason, he managed to get out of that situation in a sense better, I guess. He's still not one of the most sadistic evil people, I suppose. He still has his own moral set of compass that he follows, but I guess I wasn't able to follow that.
I mean, you're still early on in your career.
I'm a hopeless bastard at this point. Guys like me, you don't see hope in. I assure you.
I'm sure there's hope. There's hope down the road.
Well, you'd be one of the few people who believe that.
You just need to get your hands on Ryan, and things will be better.
It'll feel better for me. I don't know why people are like, it won't make you feel better to get revenge. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. It felt great on Trickster. I'm sure it'll feel better on Ryan.
In the words of Magneto, peace was never an option.
Exactly. I do not want peace. I want problems always.
Right, speaking of, the Yakuza video games, you actually cosplayed at the Cosplay Store Awards.
Right.
Tell us about that experience.
So I managed to meet one of the directors, I suppose. I guess he is the director of the entire event. And we met at I believe it was a different convention because I just like wearing that outfit of Majima. And when he met me at the time, he was like, "Do you wanna?" He found out that I did pro wrestling, and was like, "Do you wanna do something at the event?" And I was like, "If you want me to, sure." And that's how the entire event went down. I won third place at that event, which honestly speaking, I like props to the people who participated with me, considering the fact that that was the first competition I actually applied for. And the people who got first place and second place, it was one couple at first place, one couple for second place, and the guy who won first place, it was more of there was this like fan vote event that you could like to choose, I guess, and I voted for him because that guy deserved to win. The dude had a Chainsaw Man outfit, and it was like handmade. I believe his eyes were like glowing as well.
Is that something you could see yourself doing more of in the future?
Nah. I didn't expect it to even happen. It was one of those things that was like, if it happened, it happened.
It was a cool moment to actually get third place.
It was definitely unexpected because I saw the other people who cosplayed at that event, and honestly, I wasn't expecting to win at all. When they called my name for third, I was very surprised. It felt weird to actually get people cheering for you instead of hating you. It's a weird feeling, not gonna lie.
Is it a feeling you like, dislike?
Not sure, honestly. It's a feeling I'm not used to. I can't say whether or not it's a good feeling.
Will we see any future cosplaying in the future?
Very rarely, I guess. Very, very, very rare. Because I feel like the what do you call it? The price for it is definitely very expensive. And I can like props to people who can hand make their own outfit from scratch and everything. But I'm not one of those people. I'm not that artistic.
I gotcha. If there was one cosplay that you would like to do, budget and artistic abilities aside, what would you do?
Jetstream Sam from Metal Gear Rising.
Okay.
I've always I think when Metal Gear Rising first came out, I wasn't a fan of it because I was really young at that time. I was like 13, so it was like 11 years old when it came out. But when the meme resurgence of the Revengeance status meme, which was like I think resurging around 2021, I believe, I saw it and I really liked it. And because it's actually not available in Singapore, it's a region locked for our area. The only way you can play it is to pirate it. Or if you have, you can get an Xbox, which is quite hard to find now, actually.
Really?
It was popular back in like 2013, 2014, 15, but by the time I found out about wanting to play the game, you couldn't find one here. At least it wasn't easy. It's why his music is actually my theme song.
Okay, I gotcha.
Based behavior.
Well, Metal Gear Rising, Yakuza, Persona.
My favorite Persona, yeah. I like video game OSTs more. I actually listen to OSTs more than I listen to actual music.
Okay. Fair enough.
I think one of the reasons why it was Metal Gear Rising and Yakuza was because I like music sync. So I'm not sure if a lot of people know about this, but the name pretty much says it for itself. I like it when like the beat of the music matches like something happening on screen. So that's why for my Tron, which I made by myself using DaVinci Resolve, it was made with all my hits like landing as soon as like the lyrics kicked in.
Have you ever played Nier Automata?
Near Automa.
Yeah.
No, is it good?
It,
I heard it's a hack and slash.
yes, I would say it's a really good game,
Hmm?
and the soundtrack equals the ability of the actual game. It goes hand in hand.
I see.
Because you
Okay,
mentioned
who knows? Who knows? Maybe I'll try it out.
yeah, because you mentioned the soundtracks and the music.
Hmm.
My mind just immediately went to Neo Automata.
I see.
That being said, I think that's a great segue into the colossal question.
Which is?
Let's say that they're making a movie about you. Every
Hmm.
movie has a soundtrack. What would
Right.
be the first three songs on your movie soundtrack?
The four what?
The first, uh,
Oh,
the first three songs on your movie soundtrack.
oh, if I had to pick any soundtrack that I could choose,
Three songs that you would want in your movie.
hmm, let's see. Mm, now this is just out of memory. Now this is out of like what I can think of at the moment. It would be 42 Arch Nemesis for Yakuza 0, which is the final boss theme for Lao Gui.
Okay.
And then the other one would be that one actually obviously I would want just Stream Sam's music inside if it's possible.
Hey,
Hmm.
you're the producer. Everything goes.
Hmm.
You could have whatever you want in the movie.
And Flirt with Bomb, I believe from Yakuza Kiwami, because that was the music that it was the entrance for Majima during the Majima is Everywhere system, and it was just fast paced. It got the fight like on a kickstart kind of level.
Alright. Solid picks there. Now that we got the soundtrack down, everybody knows you make the soundtrack first, then you write the script, and then you
Hmm.
go to casting. Who would
Hmm.
play you? And you can't say yourself because you are obligated to make a Stan Lee-esque cameo.
Oh, I see what you mean. Who would play me? I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people on Tumblr you can find. Maybe back in 2010 when it was all angsty and edgy there. Now it might be a bit harder to find a casting list. Hmm. Who would play me? I have no clue actually. There is one guy I do want to see actually as in a movie one day, I believe. His name is Andy Black.
Okay.
He was the guy that made I guess he pulled off the look of like the tattoos and everything. He looked amazing. Andy, I think his last name is actually Biersack. He's a singer, and he was the guy who made. I remember I first encountered his music back when it was on WWE 2K17, when it was "We Don't Have to Talk," or no, "We Don't Have to Dance." Yeah, that music. So I used that music in a Tron that I made for SPW, like back in 2021. But then as it got over time, I was like, let me use a music that's more in tune. So I use Animal I've Become. But Andy Black is definitely a guy I want to see.
Oh, you actually made the video for what Animal Life Become?
The SPW, yes. Now it's not. I believe they're gonna play it at the next show, so keep an eye out for that. But I made a Tron for SPW, which I think it's already posted on the Instagram account. You can see it. I made that song. I made that video edit actually, and it was made with permission from SPW to make it, and it was approved by the statement sensei. And yeah, I guess it was okay. I guess I had to be overlooked. I had some people wanted certain parts of the Tron to be different and add certain things that, add certain moments that they wanted, which I disagree with. But I mean, it's just a job as a SPW, I guess. I'm not gonna say no to Statement. He's my sensei.
Right. I mean, when I heard that song, it definitely brought me back to playing SmackDown versus Raw.
Exactly, and I'm hoping that the Tron will do that for our crowd, because I know some of them are not actually wrestling fans, but they slowly became fans after like supporting local and everything. But I feel like a lot of the people definitely resonate with that song more than the other OSTs that's been used in WWE 2K games.
Oh yeah. Alright, now that we have you casted, every
Mhm.
movie has a supporting cast. Who would
Mhm.
be 3 people in your movie significant to you and your story, and who would play them?
Well, his name is Chris, and if possible, I'll get him to star himself. I know he wouldn't want to, but I would want him to do it.
Okay, fair enough.
And I want Vin to be in there as well. Good to see him. And supporting cast number 3. As a father figure, maybe Statement. He's always been the father figure for me.
Okay. And Brian as the villain?
Yes. Actually, no. Ryan and Trickster, both of them.
Okay.
I don't know who I hate more, actually. Do I hate the guy for getting in my way, or do I hate the guy that's causing me all this pain?
Well, I mean,
Because Ryan could have stayed out of it.
Well, I mean, you do have a tag team partner. You could bring Vin in and have a tag team match against both of them.
Nah, I don't think it's worth Vin's time. Nah. I don't, like, if I'm gonna call Vin, I'm gonna call him for something serious. I'm not gonna call him for this dumb mess.
Fair enough. Well, either way, it sounds like an incredible movie, and you could pre-order the tickets now. Alright, on to a controversial subject.
Alright.
Pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
Oh my lord. Nah. It's Personally, I don't. Personally, as a kid, I liked it, but as I started to grow up a bit more, I was like, it's okay, I guess. It's not the best thing in the world, I feel.
So, more on the lines of anti?
Anti?
You don't like
Not really. I'm like completely neutral on it, actually.
completely
Like,
neutral. Okay.
right. If you give me a Hawaiian pizza, I'm just gonna take it and eat it. It's free food. I'm not gonna complain about it or anything. But there's definitely other pizzas I like compared to it.
Okay. Fair enough. What's your spirit Pokemon?
Spirit Pokemon?
Yes.
That has changed so much because you're talking to a guy who was addicted to Pokemon. Like before the whole Pokemon Go phase hit Singapore, I was already addicted to it.
Alright.
Oh man. I think Garchomp.
Alright.
Garchomp was simply because he gave me the most trouble because I used to play Gen 4. It was like the first one that came out. It wasn't Platinum when things were balanced a bit better. It was Diamond and Pearl when things were much harder.
I gotcha. Alright. Now, we love the late great Tracy Smothers on the show. Do you
Tracy.
know the acronym for Thug? THUG.
The acronym for Thug?
Yes.
I don't believe I do.
T is for terrible, H is
Mm-hmm.
for hell, U is
Mm-hmm.
for ugly, and G is
Mm-hmm.
for jail, 'cause a Doug can't spell.
I see.
Yes. We love the late great Tracy Smothers on the show, trying to keep the
Mm-hmm.
memory alive.
Okay, I gotcha.
Now, the weirdest question you'll be asked on a wrestling interview. Would you
All
ever
right.
consider wrestling a Rock? Not Dwayne Johnson, not the country, an actual physical Rock.
Damn, that's a good question. If it was the rock that I stubbed my toe on, yeah, we'll grind that thing to dust.
Okay. Well, just for context, there was a wrestler
Hmm.
named Psycho Mike that wrestled an
Hmm.
actual Rock for over 15 minutes in what was
Wow.
called a Tungsten Man match. That's an
Tons
Iron
of
Man
match.
match
Okay.
that lasts for 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Wow, that's impressive.
hmm and he did not win, unfortunately.
Damn.
Yes.
Damn, man. That's a surprise.
Well, I mean, they tied, but The Rock was the champion, so he won by forfeit because the champion holds the championship.
I see.
Yeah, on the top.
There is one person I do want to wrestle though. Now that you mentioned that,
Yeah.
Yoshihiko.
Okay.
That would be an interesting fight. I don't know if I can win, but I mean I'll try. Yoshihiko, that would be an interesting one.
Hey, if you want to throw out down the gauntlet right now, call him out.
Nah, he'll beat my ass. Nah, maybe not now.
Now, on a more serious note, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Honestly, I don't know. I didn't see myself anything. I didn't see myself here in what 4 years ago. I didn't think I would be this much of an angsty kid again. Then again is not the right word. I always was one. What would I want to see? Where do I see myself in 5 years? I have no clue. Where do I want to see myself? I want to go to Japan. I want to wrestle in Japan if it's possible. But definitely, I want to go back there and start from the basics again, I guess. I never want to get too egotistical, especially when you're in a country that you don't speak their language.
Is there any Is there any promotions you would like to work in Japan?
Hmm. Off the top of my head, DDT.
Oh yeah.
DDT. Because we had Chris Brooks and Masa Takanashi visit before, and I've met them. They're amazing people.
Okay. And what is a match people should go out of their way to see that best shows off what you are all about?
Actually, I'm not sure. I'd say because I feel like I've been dealt the short end of the stick a lot of times. Even that one night in Valor where I was happy that I won against Trickster, it was ruined because Ryan stunned me at the show. I guess that one that would be the closest one I guess I want people to see. It was ruined afterwards, but I guess it was fun to beat the shit out of Trickster.
Yeah, just don't watch the very, very end.
It was heartbreaking. The fact that the fans, I fully went there thinking the fans would love me. After all, I'm standing up for myself against someone who consistently has been gaslighting me and treating me horribly. And the fans didn't care. They cheered for him anyways.
Hey, if
They enjoyed it.
Yeah.
They enjoyed him, so that was hurtful. But I mean, if they want a scumbag, they'll get one. It's better to be the bad guy at this point.
They just don't appreciate what's in front of them.
And it is what it is at this point.
Can we find that match against Trickster on YouTube?
You can find that match on Premier Streaming Network. It's where our partnership with SBW has been.
Okay.
If you want to see, I believe, clips of it, you can see it, I believe, on Instagram. I'm not sure whether or not it's posted yet because we've been having some things have been slowed down because of the whole next event coming, and then we need to do some more planning for that event, etc.
I got you.
But if you want to find the full show to a lot of SPW content, I believe anniversary shows there as well. Just check out Premier Streaming Network.
Alright. And since we and you could go check out that match after this interview if you haven't seen it, want to see it, want to re-see it after this interview. And since we are nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of the
All right.
This is our speed round or bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
All right.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Edge.
Worst wrestler.
Worst. Ryan. He's a ref.
You're main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
Sensei Statement.
If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
Still Edge, actually. Edge has one of the best music.
Which one?
What's a one?
No, which one? He's had a couple of bangers of songs.
Oh, Metalingus.
Okay. Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is...
Real.
We would have also accepted taste great on toast.
Tastes great on toast. Okay.
Squash. Vegetable or fruit?
It's a vegetable.
It is indeed a fruit.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't give a damn.
It has seeds. Tomato logic. New Japan wrestler Taichi. His ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question: what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
None. You should wear long pants, that's what I do.
So full coverage.
I wear full long pants. I mean, it doesn't get in the way of my fighting, so what's the point?
Alright. And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
Oddly enough, yes.
Oh, really?
Oddly enough, yes. There was this one fan who it was just coincidence. He was wearing a Darby Allin T-shirt, and so was I. And we kind of just looked at each other and was like, "Oh!" And then things eventually kicked off from there.
Interesting.
It was oddly coincidental. It was kind of, I didn't know how to feel about it at first because he was, how do I put this? I don't normally go up talking to people. So when he kind of gave me that look and I kind of returned it, we kind of just vibed a bit, I guess.
Okay. And that is the correct answer. And that will conclude this interview. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with me.
Thank you for having me. Wrestling with Entertainment.
Once again, where can we find all things Bryson on social?
You can just find me at Blade_BRY.
Alright. And you don't need to type it into your Google machine. All of the links to all his social media will be in the description of the video below, on YouTube and Castbox. Simply click the link. A new tab will appear on whatever device you are on. You have no excuse. Give him a damn follow.
That's nice of you, James.
Absolutely. We do our part on Wrestling With. Of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please subscribe, comment, put on YouTube and Castbox. This was sponsored by Real Energy and Player Coffee. Join us next Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews, and follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on X, Thread, and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Alright, Bryson, when I say wrestling wit, you say entertainment, okay?
All right.
For our very special guest Bryson Blade, Coleco Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling Wit.
Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.